Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm really glad that you're here. Immediately, I'm going to get off to a different start, and it's going to be a question for you. Have you ever experienced a moment that had you saying, I've seen this before? People call it deja vu. The reason I ask is because I had one of those moments recently, and it really got my mind thinking. It happened last night while I was editing one of these episodes, and I had this picture in my mind that I feel like I've seen before, and it was the editing software in front of me with a color palette in the bottom left and Slack and a Zoom room opened, and I had a bunch of notes on my desk, and all that to say that when I looked at that moment, I knew that I've seen it before. And it's one of those overwhelming feelings of, I've seen it before. And then I took that experience and I ran it through my lens, my perspective. I ran it through the filter of my experiences. And one of those lenses is that I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Oftentimes we don't know that reason, but in hindsight, it always becomes clear. And so I took that experience and I put it through that lens and I started saying, okay, if there are no coincidences and everything happens for a reason, what's the reason here? What's happening? What am I seeing? What am I missing? Where did this picture first come from? That was the big question in my mind. Where did I initially see that image? Even if wherever it came from in the past was a completely different thing, there's a reason that I'm feeling so strongly like I've seen this before and I'm seeing it right now. And then I started playing around with some silly ideas of like, okay, is there a deeper meaning? Is there something I'm supposed to be looking out for? Will I have even more moments of deja vu if I start looking out for them? And I was like, where do they come from? I was like, my dreams, maybe daydreams, fantasies, like the visions that I've created. And I talked a whole bunch yesterday about vision. And I started saying to myself, I wonder if that was a vision that I created for myself subconsciously months ago that just became real. And I wonder if the visions that I'm creating now are going to be deja vu moments in the future. Imagine that. Imagine the possibility where you could become so clear on a vision that you have that when you see it happen in real life, it literally feels like you've been there before. Maybe subconsciously right now it's happening on the level of dreams. I'm noticing something that I've seen in a dream before, or I'm connecting something to a dream moment. And then I start to think of some other theories of, maybe the dreams that I have, as crazy as they are sometimes, are bits and pieces of downloads from the universe. I call these episodes my daily downloads, but they're also daily downloads for you. I do believe that we are always downloading. Let me rephrase that. We're not always downloading, but there is always stuff to download. Some people are living in that upload phase where they're projecting their thoughts, their beliefs, their fears onto the world, and they're not accepting what's coming to them. But there's always things to download. There's always information from the universe to download. And so I started saying maybe dreams are as crazy as they are because it is a massive download of information. And sometimes it's not even like a direct download, because I do know the actual science of sleep and dreaming states that when we sleep, there's actually a transfer of information from our short-term memory into our long-term. That's kind of why they say that getting low amounts of sleep can really affect memory and cognition, because you're not giving your brain the time to empty that space of short-term memory and put it into long-term. And so I'm here saying we see millions and billions of things every single day. There's so many things that we could focus on in any given time, any given day. There's always so much happening in this world right now. By the end of the day, we have to empty out our short-term memory. And in that way, we can almost download what's in the short term into the long term. That's what happens in dreams. Or that's just like a side belief of mine. Please take it with a grain of salt. I'm just a coach sitting in his room. I'm not a sleep doctor, so please, we're just going to leave it at that. Anyways, from the spiritual sense, I see it as my dreams are when I download, or when I take in that information from the short term and I download it into my subconscious, into my core. But when I think about it from that perspective, I also now realize that you can program what goes into your short and long-term memory, or, the surface layer of the brain into your deep subconscious. And that happens through this envisioning, through looking at your future with clarity, really feeling it using emotion to get it deeper into your subconscious, the clearer you become on your future throughout the day, that's what gets downloaded into your mind at night when you sleep, assuming you're getting enough sleep. And so maybe some way, somehow, some time ago, I had a download that I didn't even realize at the time that was that exact image. And this isn't the first time I've had a deja vu moment. I've had them countless number of times throughout my life, and I never stopped to question it. I was just talking recently in this podcast about staying curious and questioning things. I guess that's where all of this is coming from, this ramble about deja vu. I've seen it all before. And I guess it's important to me because I see an opportunity to create a pattern in creating your ideal future, your ideal life. And I say you could create your ideal life because you could create the perfect life in your mind, and you could achieve that life. And with that life will come its own challenges and obstacles and problems. It might be difficult for you to imagine those challenges, but they're going to be there. So it's not to say it's going to be a perfect life without challenges, but it is going to be the life that is perfect for you. And challenges are perfect. They're always perfect. Every challenge you ever have is the exact challenge that you're meant to have right then, right there. And so I'm seeing this pattern of, how can I continue creating my future now? How can I continue having these deja vu moments of setting a vision and then seeing it happen, realizing it happen, but seeing it happen with such clarity that I have to stop everything that I'm doing and marvel at the experience. So over the coming days and weeks and months, I'm sure that I'm going to continue having thoughts and downloads about this. I'm going to have new opinions and new ideas and new theories, and I know that I'm going to test them out. I know that I'm going to try different things, and I know that I'm going to share them here, and I'm going to talk about them and see if other people experience the same thing. I don't believe that I'm 100% unique. I don't believe that I am special, and I put that in quotes. I know that I'm just an ordinary person, and I know that I'm the perfect person to be on my perfect path. There's a reason that I'm here. There's a reason that I think the way I do, and there's a reason that I have the desires and the goals that I have. If we ever sit down and talk about it, and I'm being completely honest with you, my goals are massive. They're huge. I just wrote down on a piece of paper my enormous goal that I have for my life. A goal that right now feels enormous is I will be on stage speaking in front of 50,000 people. And that's my enormous goal. That's not a big goal. And I also know that's not impossible. That's just one of those goals that when I achieve it, I'll know that I am on the right path. I have this desire now, and God is real, and it'll happen. And I'll be there on the stage looking out over the crowd saying, I worked to get here. I've had so much help, so much guidance, and I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I got over my obstacles and my limiting beliefs and my challenges, and I made it here. I see that vision already. And who knows, as I continue to create that vision for myself and I continue to see it in my mind every single day, maybe I will be on that stage and I will look out over the crowd and I will have my deja vu moment. I'll know that that vision was so clear that I've seen it before. And it'll be crazy that I saw that when I was 22 years old at the start of my journey, no matter how long it takes for me to get there. So I keep my eyes open, looking for the moments that I'm creating. Sometimes we're very clear on where we're going and on what our path is. And sometimes it's a little cloudy outside. Maybe it's dark. Maybe the fog did roll in for just a little bit. And we're not quite sure where to go, but we can be sure about the next step and then the step after that. And eventually the fog will lift, the sun will come out, and we'll know where we are again, and we'll know where we want to go. So just keep taking those steps forward. Trust that you're going in the right direction, because you are. You're in the right place. You're doing the right thing. You're exactly where you're meant to be, impacting the exact people you're meant to impact. Do what you know and believe is right. Follow your heart. Get out of your head. Your heart doesn't have fear. Your heart doesn't have doubts. Your heart doesn't have overwhelm or anxiety. That's all in your head. If you feel any of those things, you're in your head. Find the moments that you've created for yourself, in your visions, in your past, in your dreams. See that they're not just a dream, it's your reality. And when you start seeing that your dreams can become reality in the literal sense, then start dreaming bigger. Create a bigger dream. Create a bigger vision. Set a bigger outcome and see it become reality. And the more you do that, the bigger your dreams become, the bigger you become. And eventually, you'll be at the top of a mountain that you don't even recognize. It'll be the mountain of your dreams, one that you were always too scared to climb, but one step at a time you did it. I thank you so much for listening to this episode. Again, it kind of just came out of nowhere, and I enjoyed making it, like always. And I'm sure that everything will happen exactly as it's supposed to. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you.